Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Today we're going to be reviewing Meguiars Hybrid Ceramic Spray Wax with advanced SiO2 technology. So Meguiars Hybrid Ceramic Wax in this sexy bottle with integrated beads in the label. That's the detailing first. What are the basics of this stuff, guys? It's 20 quid for 768 millilitres, which is a little bit more than your standard 500ml bottle, and that 50% more actually, or 26 fluid ounces if you're in America. You can pick this up in store in Halfords for 20 quid, or if you want it delivered you can order it online from Clean and Shiny, and I have a discount code with those guys that should work with this product. Let me know if it doesn't and you can get 10% off and get the price down to 18 quid. Let's run through the product claims of this stuff, guys. Spray on, rinse off and dry. No rubbing, curing, buffing, no mess. Advanced SiO2 hybrid tech delivers ceramic wax protection. More than a wax, protection and durability beyond a conventional wax. Water beading protection, ceramic wax protection with extreme water beading action. No curing, as I mentioned before. Ceramic made easy. What do we make of all this? Okay guys, before I show you the product in use and give you my thoughts on it, I want to run through the instructions as given by Meguiars. Shake well, the car should be cool to the touch and in the shade. Wash your car with any Meguiars car wash. You know, you've got your own shampoo, guys, I'm sure it'll be fine with that. I have actually used a bit of Wash Plus as well from Meguiars, following the directions on the label. After rinsing the vehicle thoroughly of all the wash soap, spray Meguiars Hybrid Ceramic Wax over all exterior surfaces. So that suggests trim, glass, everything, you know, panels obviously, don't miss those. The next step, note, for initial application of Meguiars Hybrid Ceramic Spray Wax, skip step 3, the second rinse, and go directly to step 4, which is using a clean dry towel for the initial wipe. This establishes a foundation layer of protection and beading that will be enhanced with the subsequent product applications using the wash and rinse method. So there are two application methods. Your initial one, where they suggest you spray onto the car after washing and rinsing and then work it over each panel with a cloth. So effectively you're kind of buffing it into the kind of, you know, panels on your car and glass, because they say all exterior surfaces. So we'll talk about that later on. Once you've done that initial application, a couple of months down the line, or when you feel the need to reapply it, you can spray it on after washing and rinse it off. So let's go to that step 3. Starting at the roof, use a strong stream of water to rinse the whole vehicle a second time. The hydrophobic power of this rinse will spread the product, coating all the exterior with our hybrid ceramic protection. Then after that, step 4, dry the vehicle with a quality microfiber drying towel. They didn't say the Meguiars drying towel. They missed a trick there. Oh, here, sorry. Like the Meguiars Supreme drying towel. I'm playing around there, guys. It's fine if they want to recommend their own products. That's what they're in the business to do. So those are the instructions. Let's get on now, show you this product in use and talk about its performance. So in this video, guys, I'm just using the product fresh from the store as I would any product on my car, and I've made a ton of notes around all the application and everything, and I'm simply going to go through them in this video. At a later date, we're going to do a more kind of analytical comparison of this product with 4 other silica sprays on the market, so we can try and get you some data around some areas of performance, and that will be coming soon on the channel. Let's go through all my thoughts from using this and give you a summary of the product. Okay, so first up, guys, this is only available in this particular 768ml size, so any professionals wanting to get bulk cannot do so. It's more of a retail orientated product, so understand that. Also, a very simple observation is this product feels more like an emulsion than a runny, loose liquid. A bit more similar to Adam's H2O Gloss and Guard, a thick emulsion. It also contains blue dye within the product and some sort of berry scent. The composition of the product, guys, like most silica sprays, it looks like it's a mixture of trimethylated silane, so a type of resin, the silica portion of this if you like, and cationic components, the polysiloxanes, which are, you know, drawn to the paintwork, which is how you're able to use these in a spray and rinse kind of application. They also contain antimicrobial, anti-fungi kind of standard components to stop this product spoiling and going off. And it also, I believe, will contain water and some form of water miscible solvent or petroleum distillate. A positive of this product, guys, is that the price at 20 quid for 768ml, if you scale that down to 500ml, you're looking at around 13 to 14 quid. And that scales reasonably well with kind of standard detail sprays and other spray sealant products. You wouldn't describe it as cheap, but comparatively for silica sprays, the price point pound for pound is reasonably strong on this product. The packaging and the branding of the product, the presentation of the product is superb. It looks good, and the trigger is okay. Because the product is thicker, there is some slight splatter and gloopiness when you're spraying it out onto the panel, and that can also flick around a little bit. It's more to do with the viscosity of the product than the actual packaging. Moving on to application of the product, guys. When you've washed and rinsed the car, there is a lot of standing water all over the car, and this thick, gloopy product, when you spray it onto that water, if there's particularly on the sides of the car, if there's quite a lot of it there, it will pull it off of the car. And because it's kind of like a thick, whitey blue emulsion, you see that kind of product running everywhere. If there's excess water involved with this initial application, when you then go to the point of spreading the product with a microfiber cloth, that cloth is going to get wet and saturated with water and some of these materials. That makes the product harder with one microfiber cloth to just buff dry, because your cloth will pick up, like I say, pick up water, and the product will smear around a little bit. The most effective way, in my opinion, to do the initial application is to quickly towel dry 95% of the water off of your car, but just have the odd little bit of water on there, you know, so there's some water that you can utilize during the application. Then get a microfiber cloth or a microfiber applicator, soak it in water and wring it out. Then spray this onto your panel. You don't have to use too much, but you could spray it however you like onto the panel, and then work this particular emulsion or resin over the surface of that particular panel, one panel at a time. Once you've got the coverage, then take a dry microfiber and just buff it. And if you do that, you can also pause after the leveling for 30 seconds to a minute, depending on your conditions outside. Obviously, you don't want to let this stuff completely dry, but you can just pause, and you will notice the product get a little bit stiffer, and then when you buff it, you get a nice luster underneath, and that seems to be a sensible way to apply it. The wetter it is, and the wetter you try to spread this, the more streaky it's going to be, which is not a product criticism, it's a general thing with any kind of detailing product. So that is important. In terms of the spray and rinse application, guys, again, when you're spraying this onto a soaking wet car, you can get some running of the product. It can look a little bit messy. You want to come back a little bit from the car so you get a good misting rather than close to the car where you're going to sort of put a spot of the product. The better coverage you can get with the spray, the better. I would suggest you don't spray it all over your whole car, even when you're doing the wet and rinse application. I would suggest you spray it on one side and then rinse it down, or you can start with your roof, rinse that off, start with that one side and rinse it off. I would also strongly recommend, if you're doing the rinse application, that you use a pressure washer, because the product is quite thick. You can actually see it. You need to get at it a little bit with the pressure washer to get it off the car and just work your way down. It does work, the wet application, but you're perhaps not utilising the product as well. In terms of how this product performs on the various surfaces that they say you can spray it on, all exterior surfaces, glass, trim and paintwork are the three that we should discuss. Now, no real major problems that I haven't already covered on the paintwork. Gives you a good luster after the buff. It also tidies up the panel a little bit. You know, if there is the odd water spot there that you're supposed to rinse off, which is a reality of cleaning cars, then the product actually collects that up, you know, and you buff and you tidy the panel up in that process. So it's good. It's kind of fits into that category of the drying aid or the sealant that you apply while you're drying the car to save time. Trim, I will say this, the rubber trim around my Gulf windows is faded and in poor condition. This product didn't do a good job of restoring it as a trim dressing. However, it didn't make any mess, or it didn't make it any worse, and it did put some sort of protection on top of it. On the plastic trim on my car, which isn't faded and in reasonable condition, the product went straight on top of it, and after I buffed it, the plastic trim looked good and was protected. So it worked well on plastic trim, didn't have a restorative effect on rubber trim, but wasn't particularly awful. Glass was the big one for me. I didn't want to put this on my glass on my 140. I had bad experience with putting any protective products on glass generally. So all I did was, when I washed the car, the Golf, I went over the windscreen with Meguiars Wash Plus and a sponge to give the windscreen a good scrub, but not a formal glass clean, and then dry the glass, that water off, you know, rinsed and then dried the glass, sprayed it onto the glass, worked it over the glass, and then buffed it. Didn't have any major problems with streakiness and buffing, although, you know, a little bit streaky, but not any major problems. Left it well alone for an hour, went into the car, and I thought my money was on, if I turn the windscreen wipers on, there's going to be ghosting and all sorts of mess over my glass. There wasn't. It wasn't too bad actually, so it seemed to work well on glass, and I sat in the car with my GoPro on so you can see what I'm talking about. A tiny little bit, but I didn't do any sort of intensive prep on the glass or anything, so it performed better on the glass than I thought it was going to do, which is a positive. Another observation around this product, guys, is that I have used quite a lot on application, and it's my first time using it, so I could have used it a lot more sparingly, and I've been playing around with it on test panels. But quite simply, from what I've seen of this particular product, I think the average person will get about 10 goes on this. And if you think the durability is going to be about 2 to 3 months, that we'll talk about later on, this bottle of product probably should last you between 1 to 2 years, depending on, obviously, on how much you're using. But there is a risk that you can use a lot of product, and you will use more product typically when you're doing the spray and rinse application. Next up, guys, I'm going to talk about the Hydrophobic Performance. They advertise a kind of extreme hydrophobic performance, and I think the product kind of lives up to that for me, although there's lots of products which also give you that extreme repellency immediately on application. You can see it once it's applied and you spray it with the pressure washer or a loose hose. The speed it throws the water off the car is very fast, so it's a kind of very reactive, very water repellent material that they're using in the silazane that is quite impressive. The beading on the car is good as well. If you want to throw some water up and let it fall onto the panel, you'll get nice beads. Some people don't want beading, some people do. It's this simple. If you like a product which beads well, you will be pretty impressed, I think, with the beading performance of this product. If you don't want a product that beads well, then you won't like this particular product, because it even advertises beads on the bottle, guys. I like it. One thing is, it is very easy to dry the car when you've got that fresh hydrophobic effect on it. So easy. So this product does actually work quite well as a drying aid when you're looking to do that application. But the more time you spend getting the coverage, the more you get out of the product. So it's a difficult one. There's some advantages to the wet application that it's kind of quite nice, but you're going to lose a lot of product, and you're not going to utilise the product quite as well as that heavy first application method. So there you have a little bit of choice there, guys. You could just carry on applying it using the full application method each time, but you've got the option there that if you want to spray and kind of rinse and then dry the car and notice the car being a little bit easier to dry, you can, although you need to really be careful. Make sure you rinse it all off well before you go and do that drying phase, and definitely use a pressure washer. Next up, Slickness, guys. After buffing this product back dry to that dry, nice, shiny kind of panel, how did the paintwork feel? It felt decent to me. There are definitely slicker products on the market, like Bead Maker and stuff like that, where they feel like absolute silk, but the panel felt nice. There are some people, I say this with a little bit of caution, because there are some people where the slickness is very important, and I like it as well. I like seeing slickness wherever it's there. But this is an acceptable finish and feel to the car's paintwork to me, and you wouldn't rule this product out for it being sticky or grabby or anything like that. It feels quite nice to me. Dirt repellency test, guys. I'll quickly mention I tried to see if there was any benefits to removing a simulated dirt formula from a section of panel that was untreated, unprotected with the Meguiars Hybrid Ceramic Wax, and I couldn't see any benefits. Very important, one, my dirt simulator that I've made is very oily, and it's better for testing the effectiveness of cleaning products and degreasers at the moment than it is for this. So this test wasn't completely valid, and Meguiars make no claims in their product claims about improved dirt repellency as far as I know. But my test was a bit of a failure, I think. I'm going to create another version of my dirt simulator that is not using any oils in the formulation. But I need to spend some time doing that for when I do the silica spray comparison. So that will come. So that test is effectively void. Overall, guys, should you go and buy Meguiars Hybrid Ceramic Wax? Well, it's quite simple. If you see this product and you like the look of it, and you're still excited by detailing products and you've not tried a silica spray sealant, there are not that many reasons why I wouldn't recommend this to you. And the ones that I've picked up on are quite minor, a little bit, perhaps you could argue, a little bit bitchy. But ultimately it's about the product, it's about what's in the bottle. And the product seems to me to perform well. We are going to test it to hell and back in a comparison where we try and measure performance a little bit more. But in very simple terms, using it, I've enjoyed it and the results are good. And I think I would encourage you to go and try this, guys. The price point is reasonably strong. The product delivers on most of its claims, although some of those claims are perhaps a little bit hyped up. But the one thing that it does do well is it is very repellent on application, and I think a lot of people are going to like that, which could make Meguiars Hybrid Ceramic Wax quite a popular product. The thing to understand is, guys, that it is not anything new or anything particularly different. It's not to the first to the party to use advanced SiO2 technology. It's quite late to the party, in fact, but it's a little bit different to those other silica sprays that I've got there, and I think it's a good product. That's about as best as I can do. As always, guys, in the comments, please let me know your thoughts about this product, everything that we've covered in this video. What do you think about the price point? What do you think about the performance? Do you find the product kind of nice and sexy and all that sort of stuff in the bottle? Everything, just let me know, because that's always a good indication of what the product is really about, and I've tried to give you that in the video. Overall, it's a positive for me, and I think if you like detailing products, you should check out Meguiars Hybrid Ceramic Wax. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon on the Forensics Detailing channel. Bye for now.
Holding on to what